Are these items going to break your game? This week, we take a look at what are, in my opinion, 5 of the most overpowered items in 5e. Hello players and GMs, I am Reese, and welcome to another video by Jetpack7. Before we get started, I want to ask you to please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It helps so much to spread the word of our channel through YouTube's algorithmic madness, so thank you to everyone who has already done that so far. This week, I wanted to take a look at some of the items in 5e that I think are a little overpowered. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about the 5 strongest items in 5e, because that would just be a list of artifacts that are supposed to be incredibly strong and nearly game-breaking. None of the items I'm talking about today are more than rare, and in my opinion they can be incredibly potent for nearly any character who uses them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into them with the first item, the Amulet of Health. The Amulet of Health is a rare item that does require attunement, but automatically increases the wearer's constitution to 19. You might be thinking, Reese, 19 isn't that high. And every class wants to have decent constitution because it is the second most important attribute for pretty much everyone, so it is usually pretty high anyway. But I want you to now imagine a world in which you don't have to care about your constitution. Think about playing a monk, where you can completely forget about your HP and just build into dexterity and wisdom. A wizard, where you can build only into intelligence and dexterity. This item allows you to forego your weak constitution and focus on other stats while still having a +4 constitution modifier. That is actually insane. Let's just think about this mathematically. The Manual of Bodily Health is a very rare item that increases your constitution and its maximum by 2. So operating under the assumption that you already have 20 constitution, your con modifier goes up by 1, which increases your max HP by a number equal to your level. That is a very rare item, and usually something you wouldn't be getting until way late into a campaign. Now let's turn our attention to our wimpy little wizard friend who has, let's be generous here, 12 constitution. This wimpy little wizard is level 10, and has taken average HP every level, so he is at a solid 50 HP. Suddenly, an Amulet of Health is dropped at his feet. He attunes to that sucker, which takes his constitution from 12 to 19, and his con modifier from 1 to 4. So now, this wimpy little wizard suddenly gains 3 HP per level, so he goes from 50 HP to 80. That is a huge increase in durability for someone that has no business being that chunky. All of that for a rare item is absolutely no joke, and to me, it can get a little crazy. Our next item is the Mantle of Spell Resistance. As an experienced D&D player, I know that player characters are incredibly strong. In 5e in particular, spellcasters are ridiculously powerful because of the access they have to 5e's very potent spell list. But players aren't the only people who gain access to those spells. If I want to take an encounter from challenging to deadly, the most reliable way to do it is to toss an NPC into that battle that can cast spells. Suddenly, the party is dealing not only with bows, arrows, axes, and swords, but with fireballs, disintegrates, firestorms, and cloud kills. The Mantle of Spell Resistance is a rare magic item that requires attunement that just straight up gives the wearer advantage on all saving throws against spells. No cooldown, no number of times between rests, just advantage on all saving throws against all spells, all the time. That is an intensely powerful item. Now, granted, it won't do anything against a dragon's breath attack, but getting hit by a fireball at 5th level can end an encounter instantly, and this significantly increases your odds of passing that saving throw. My next item is one that we rarely see in a game, the Horn of Valhalla. The Horn of Valhalla is a magic item that varies in rarity depending on the type of horn that you find, but for this, I'm just going to discuss the uncommon and rare one, the silver and brass. This item does not require attunement, and as an action, you can blow the horn to summon warrior spirits from Valhalla using the Berserker stat block to fight by your side. The number you summon depends on the rarity. The silver uncommon one summons 2d4 plus 2, the brass rare one summons 3d4 plus 3. The only restriction is that with the brass horn, whoever blows the horn has to be proficient in all simple weapons or the warriors will attack you instead. Otherwise, you just gain at least 7 allies with the brass horn and 4 with the silver, each with 67 HP. HP, great axes, and reckless attack for an hour or until they all die. The one thing is that you can only use this item once a week, so it is definitely a blowhorn in case of emergency sort of item, but unless you're fighting a deadly encounter every day or two, I imagine you'll get plenty of value out of this item. The fact that it does not require any sort of attunement or concentration or anything like that makes this item absolutely insane for its rarity, and one that might make a DM pretty hesitant to toss it into their campaign. The next item is another rare one called the Cape of the Mountabank. It always blows me away when people tell me they haven't heard of this item, because to me, this is one of the absolute most powerful items in the game. The Cape of the Mountabank just allows you to cast Dimension Door once a day for free. And when I say for free, I really mean it, because this item does not require attunement. No class restriction, no spellcaster restriction, you can just flat out teleport up to 500 feet in any direction once a day for free. And you can still keep all your other attunement items with it. There really isn't too much to say about this one other than literally every class in the game wants to have that ability, and this item gives it to them without having to sacrifice even an attunement slot to get it. The final item is another one you don't hear about much, and honestly I've only seen it in Tomb of Annihilation. This one is only an uncommon item called Kyotoms ointment. I think I'm saying that right. I saved this one for last because I think it is a fascinating item, and one that is incredibly strong considering the strength and rarity of similar items. Players and GMs alike place a lot of value on healing potions in 5e due to their ability to quickly bring someone back from the edge of death. Kyotoms ointment functions very similarly, except just better. Kyotoms ointment is a glass jar containing 1d4 plus 1 doses of a mixture, which when swallowed or applied to the skin, heals for 2d8 plus 2, ends any poison effect, and cures them of any disease. For perspective, the Greater Healing Potion, which is also uncommon, heals for 4d4 plus 4. On average, that is 16. Kyotoms ointment only heals for 12 on average, however it also cures poison and disease. And one Kyotoms ointment can actually come with anywhere between 2 and 5 doses. So even only with 2 doses of the ointment, you've already healed for 24 on average compared to the Greater Healing Potion's 16. So not only is this item better than a healing potion of the same rarity, it is also better than many of the spells and abilities which serve the same purpose. A first level cure wounds from a cleric with a +5 wisdom modifier heals for an average of 10. That is 2 less than the ointment. Not to mention, to remove a poison or disease, you would need to cast an additional spell for each poison or disease. The ointment heals and removes all the poisons and diseases immediately. With one action, you're getting an above average cure wounds and a lesser restoration with at least 2 charges. That is incredible. I don't see this item necessarily breaking games anytime soon, but I would definitely be hesitant to have this item at the same rarity as a Potion of Greater Healing, because it's just way, way better. That is my list of the 5 most overpowered items in 5e. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my list. There are plenty of other intensely powerful items in the game, so also do let me know if you want to see another video like this soon. But until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you around.